In a village, there lived an old farmer. Not very rich, not very poor. Just enough that the household ran, bellies were full, and when he lay down at night, there was no weight on his heart. He had a son, his only support. And he had a horse that did much of his work. But this was not an ordinary horse. It was of a rare and noble breed, silver grey in color, tall and proud. When the villagers saw it pass, they would stop and stare, unable to look away. One day, a merchant happened to pass through the village. The moment he saw the horse, a gleam lit up his eyes. He walked straight to the farmer and said, "I want to buy this horse. Name your price." The farmer refused. "I do not wish to sell." The merchant pressed on. "I'll give you 100 gold coins for it." The farmer refused again. The merchant argued. The farmer stood firm. Their voices rose, and slowly, the entire village gathered around them. People began urging the farmer, "Sell it, brother. What an opportunity. Where will you get 100 gold coins again? Your house will be built properly, your fields will expand." The old farmer looked at the merchant, then at the horse. Then he said firmly, "No, I will not sell this horse." The merchant left, furious. Behind the farmer's back, the villagers laughed. The old man has lost his mind. He had his chance and threw it away. Poor luck, that's all it is. 3 months passed. Then one night, the horse disappeared. When they woke in the morning, the stable was empty. The chain was not broken. The gate had not been opened. The horse was simply gone, and no one could understand how or where. When the news spread, the villagers gathered again. "We told you so. If you had sold it to the merchant, you'd have 100 gold coins. Now you have neither the horse nor the money. Your luck is truly terrible." The farmer's son was worried too. He came inside and said, "Dad, this is very bad. We had a chance. We should have taken it and sold the horse. What do we do now?" The old farmer set down his cup of tea and said calmly, "Son, for now, just say that the horse is gone. Whether this is good or bad, we will not decide that. Time will decide. And do not connect it to luck." "But Dad, what kind of answer is that?" "Right now, I have no answer. When the time comes, the answer will come too." Outside, the villagers stood cursing their fate. The farmer listened. He said nothing. 7 days passed. The search continued. But the horse did not return. And the villagers' talk did not stop. Then on the 7th night, the village watchman woke in the middle of the night, because from far away, sounds were reaching him. The sound of hooves. First one, then two, then many, the thundering of horses running. Just before dawn, when the darkness still held, the horse came back. But not alone. 5 wild horses were galloping behind it, young, powerful, and beautiful. The farmer came out of his home and watched. And as the sounds carried through the village, everyone woke and gathered. 1 horse left and 6 have returned. "Brother, you are truly blessed. What mercy God has shown you." The old farmer stood at the gate of his stable. He smiled gently and said, "Do not be happy just yet." The villagers stared at each other. What a strange, madman, he does not grieve in sorrow and does not rejoice in joy. But the old farmer gave no explanation. He turned and quietly went inside. The next day, the farmer's son had an idea. "The largest and strongest of these wild horses, if I train it, it will fetch a good price at the market." When the father heard, he said, "Be careful, son. This horse is wild, healthy, and powerful. Training such an animal is very difficult. Be sure you don't get hurt." The son laughed. "Don't worry, Dad. I'll be careful."
To enjoy more emotional and inspiring stories every week, like this video and subscribe this channel.
He approached the horse. He climbed on, and in the very next moment, he was in the air. The horse threw such a violent jolt that the son flew off and crashed to the ground with a heavy thud. People rushed over, trying to help him up. But he could not rise. His leg was broken. The old farmer came, knelt down, and placed his son's head gently in his lap. The son spoke through clenched teeth. "Dad, I didn't listen to you. That's why this happened." The old farmer said quietly, "Never mind. This will teach you something." The villagers came again, shaking their heads. "Your luck is truly terrible. A great misfortune has come. The young earner's leg is broken, he's bedridden and useless now. Who will plow the fields? Who will earn? How will the house run? These wild horses should never have come. Your luck was already bad, and these horses came and brought more trouble with them." The old farmer looked at them with a strange expression and said, "Does a broken leg mean a person's luck is ruined?" The villagers all said together, "Yes, yes, that's exactly what it means." The farmer shook his head and said, "I feel sorry for your thinking. You are still not understanding. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? When the time comes, you will understand everything about luck." The villagers left without arguing further. The leg was bound. The son took to the cot. Days passed. The son lay there all day, thinking one thing or another. One night, the son asked his father, "Dad, does thinking about the future never frighten you?" The farmer answered, "It does frighten me, son. But even with fear, one can still have faith. Fear and faith can walk together." The son asked in surprise, "Faith in what, Dad?" The farmer replied, "Faith that what is happening is not happening without reason. The reason is not visible yet, but just because it's not visible doesn't mean it doesn't exist." The son tried to understand, but it didn't quite sink in. 2 weeks later, at the break of dawn, the sound of horses came again. But these were not wild horses. These were the king's soldiers. Tall and armed, they arrived and announced, "The king's command, war has broken out at the border. More soldiers are needed. Every able-bodied young man of this village will leave with us today." The village erupted in chaos. Mothers began to weep. Fathers fell silent. The soldiers went door to door. From each home, they took a young man. When they reached the old farmer's door, they asked, "Where is your son?" The farmer said, "Inside. His leg is broken. He cannot walk." The soldier glanced inside. The son lay on his cot, leg bound, face pale. "He's of no use," the soldier said, turning away and moving on. 15 young men left the village. The old farmer's son did not go. That night, the village was silent as a grave. In the homes of those whose sons had left, women wept in hushed voices, not knowing whether the ones who had gone to war would ever come back alive. A lamp burned in the old farmer's home. Seeing the light, the villagers gathered at his door again. "You are so lucky, your son made an excuse of his broken leg and didn't go to war." The farmer said, "You are connecting this to good luck again." The villagers said, "If this isn't good luck, then what is it? Our sons, who knows if they'll even come back? And if they do, who knows in what condition?" The farmer said, "You still don't understand." The people shook their heads and left. The son said quietly, "Dad, I feel ashamed. Everyone went to war, and I alone stayed behind. These people think I'm a coward." The old farmer said, "A coward is someone who holds back out of fear. Your situation is different. You couldn't go because you're in pain. And son, the fact that time has held you back right now, there is something in that which we do not yet understand." The son stayed silent. Time passed. 3 months went by just like that. Every week, some news came from the war. Sometimes about the fighting. Sometimes about the wounded. and sometimes about the dead. Then one day, a weary soldier appeared at the village gate. Alone. Half his armor missing. A broken spear. Empty eyes. What he told them turned the entire village to stone. The war had gone very badly. The enemy had proved too strong. Of the 15 young men who had gone, most would not be coming back. When the village heard this, wailing broke out everywhere. In the midst of that mourning, an old woman came to the farmer's door, the one whose son had not returned. The same woman who had once mocked the old farmer. Her eyes held no tears. Perhaps they had all been spent. She said, "You said time would tell. Time has told. My son is not coming back. What do you say now?" The old farmer rose and came near her. He stood quietly for a moment. Said nothing. Then, softly, he spoke. "Sister, your grief for your son is real. Do not hide it. Cry. Cry as much as you need to. But also know this, the love you gave him, the pain you bore for him, none of that is gone. This world is not the whole story, sister. It is only one part of it." The woman's eyes filled with tears. She turned and walked away. The son's leg was healing. The day he stood for the first time, holding the doorframe, his eyes filled with tears. His father stood close by. The son said, "Dad, if my leg had healed in time, I would have gone to war too." The father said, "If you had gone, my only support would have gone too, and perhaps never returned. Because those who went did not come back. Perhaps you were kept here because you still have to be my support." Both were silent for a moment. Then the son took a long breath and tried to take his first step. He stumbled. His father caught him. A few days later, the old farmer gave 4 of the wild horses to the homes whose sons had not returned from war. The son said, "Dad, these were our wealth." The farmer said, "God gave us 6 in place of 1. Our share was 1. It is better to distribute the rest." The son was quiet for a while. Then he spoke again. "Dad, today I understood the thing you have been saying for months." "Which thing?" "That whatever is happening, do not call it good or bad just yet. Because we are in the middle of the story, and the story is still going on. And in every event, there is some wisdom that becomes clear with the passing of time. If we had sold the horse to the merchant, it would never have gone missing. The horse going missing was itself a wisdom. Because of it, 5 more horses came. And because of those horses, I was injured. And because of that injury, I, your only and last support, was saved from going to war. And later, those same horses became a help to the village." The father said, "That is exactly right. Indeed, God is the best of planners. And remember, do not connect good or bad things to luck. If something bad happens, luck is bad. If something good happens, luck is good. All of this is simply part of life."
If you like this video, please do like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more inspiring English moral stories. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.